Hey everybody, stream should be live now. Sorry for the delay. Was having a bit of an issue getting the screen to display. You can see already I have someone in the chat. Let me see if I can get that up. Hold on a minute. Get the preview off there. That's going to create an echo that would be annoying. Now let me see if I can get to the public one so I can monitor the comments. Because the polls haven't closed yet. They're going to close in a little bit. Now, this is my first time streaming on this new channel. Also my first time streaming an election night as well. So real quick, I'll explain what you see on the screen in case it isn't obvious. You'll see there's a banner at the bottom that simply shows the district we're watching, the vote percent for each candidate. The top left shows, you know, the primary night. Top right shows the amount of the vote that is currently in, which is obvious. Everything's zero right now because we don't have anything in yet because the polls haven't closed. They're going to close at 7:54 at the moment. So that's what you're going to see on the screen. Now, this is what you're going to see if anyone wins. You're going to see this image or you're going to see this image. And these are also the designations, if it gets close, if it is too early. And also, these green X's will show up over whoever wins. Martha Roby is the favored one to win this. But, now, I see I got a pro Martha Roby comment in the comment section. I'll read it real quick. Go Martha Roby, we need someone that does the right thing besides doing all the wrong. Forget dumb Bobby Wright, go Martha, one of your biggest fans. Appreciate. I mean, this isn't my district, so I guess it's not my place to think. Now, I'm going to read something real quick to sort of describe what's going on for people who aren't in Alabama's 2nd Congressional District, who might not know what is going on with this race. Representative Martha Roby was forced into a runoff. She is the incumbent by former Representative Bobby Bright. She's faced criticism for her unendorsement of Trump through the Access Hollywood tapes back in October of 2016. However, Trump has endorsed her. One of those reasons would be Bright has faced criticism himself for being a Democrat, a former Democrat. No polling has been done on this race, so we don't have much to go off of except for the primary. The primary, Roby got 39%, 28% for Bright, and it's a runoff, of course. So she would be the favored one to win this race. It is a very interesting dynamic on the Republican side here. To me, at least. Like I said, we don't have any votes in yet. I will quickly go to the primary. You can see this is the primary. This is the Democratic one. We aren't paying attention to that one. Roby, 39% exactly. 28% exactly for Bright. And that is Barrymore. I believe he has connection to the Roy Moore campaign. If you look at the county by county, Roby won most of this. Her best county was Montgomery. So we're going to watch that one tonight. That's probably going to be her biggest vote center tonight. She won most of the counties. Not all of them is big, of course. Like this is another one she won big, but there's not much vote here. What will be interesting to see is where the Moore counties go. If they go to Roby or if they go to Bright. You can see Roby got 2nd place, but we don't know what that means. Now this is the only county that Bright won. He's going to need a big margin out of this one if he is going to win this race. He needs to win these 3 counties, and he needs to perform better in the counties that voted for Roby in the primary. So, like I said, it's more likely than not that Roby wins here. After all, she is the incumbent, you know. And Trump and Pence have endorsed her, so once again, she would be the favored one to win tonight. So, the polls haven't closed yet, so I'm going to be monitoring comments, you know, and of course I'm going to be keeping up to date on the vote as it is counted, you know. Well, if anyone has anything to say, say it. I'll discuss with you, because there's not much to talk about here, especially since the polls have not closed. It's 7:58 right now. They are about to close, but even when they do close, we aren't going to really get numbers right off the bat. As a matter of fact, NYT, which is what I'm using to monitor the results. I looked through a couple of places to monitor the results from. This is the one that gives me the most information, because I can get county by county results, and that's going to be important in making the projection here tonight and to see who's going to win this. Yeah. 7:59, 1 minute until the polls close. We're almost there. We're almost there. Oh, I did forget, there is a bit of a delay in the actual stream, so sorry about that. So by the time the polls close, I will probably already be saying this, but yeah. Okay, so it is 7:59. They should be closing any second now. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can get like the Pacific Google time. It is now 8. It is officially 8. I guess my computer clock is going a little behind, but gonna show this since now the polls are yeah, now it's 8. So the polls have closed, and real quick, let's see this. Let me show this. Give me a little slack. This is my first time, and here is the designation I'm going to give it. Is too early to call. No information yet in the race. We don't have any votes in. 0% in, 0% for both candidates. So yeah, so nothing in. Not surprising. It is a little boring when you only have one race to watch. It is fun to watch those multiple primary nights to see what's going on, and you know. But so the polls have closed. So if you're watching, I see there's 3 people watching. One of those might be me, so maybe 2. Comment below if there's any comment you want to make. I'm gonna discuss with anyone who talks, really. For one, because there's not many people, you know, talking here. It's pretty easy to talk when you only have 3 or 2 or 4 people watching you. And also, there isn't much to talk about here. It's one race. I pretty much already went over everything there is to go over here in terms of, you know, who, like, these candidates are, and what's going on. So I'm very interested to see Republicans' perspective in this race, particularly, because that is what matters. This is a Republican primary runoff, so it matters more what the Republicans are saying, but Democrats and independents are free to comment too as to what they think about this. Yeah, I'm right now. I'm gonna keep track of the vote to see if anything comes in. As you may or may not be able to guess, I'm going to update the vote totals on the banner on the screen as they come in. So when we start getting our first votes, you'll see the numbers go up there, and you'll also see at the top right the percentage. I just saw that comment there. Yes, I think she'll win for a couple reasons. For one, she got the most vote in the primary. She got around 40%. And also, I think the Trump endorsement's going to help her a lot. Pence, I believe, did a robocall for her. She's also the incumbent. I'm pretty sure she has more money. Bobby Bright's a former Democrat. And looking just at the primary, it's really hard to see how Bobby Bright pulls this off. Now, of course, we have no polling here, so it could be a major upset. But in my personal opinion, I think Roby is the favorite to win this. Because you can see, in the primary, Bright only won this county. And he didn't win it by much. And there's only 2 other counties won by someone other than Roby. She won all the other counties. And even if Bright were to win these 3 counties here, that wouldn't be enough to win the thing outright unless there's a huge turnout deficit. So I think Roby's going to win. I think that's what I personally think. Hope you don't hear any of the background noise. I'm using a microphone, not a headset mic, so you might hear some stuff. I might get up in a second to close a couple things. You know, try and make it quieter in here. Yeah, let me do that real quick. There's a door that's open. I'm gonna close it. Alright, still no votes in. I'm back. Let me check the comments. Nothing new. For watching. It's a decent amount, considering this is a new channel. Okay, but yeah, nothing in yet. I hate when it takes forever for a state to count votes. Like, each state is different in how fast they can count votes. Like, there are states like Florida and Texas, which can count them pretty fast sometimes. Like, I believe by the time the Texas polls closed in 2016, like 50% of the vote was already counted. Same thing in Florida. I think 70% was counted before the polls closed. So those states are pretty fast. I know Georgia. I've watched Georgia a lot. They are very slow. They're very slow in counting the votes. I wish that wasn't the case. It's a little annoying, you know, because it takes a while to know what's going to happen. I mean, to be fair, I'm probably being a little too harsh and a little too impatient here. It's only been 5 minutes since the poll closing time. Interesting MIT read right here. Alabama holds a Republican runoff in the 2nd District where neither the incumbent nor her challenger secured a majority of the vote. Mr. Roby has drawn the ire of conservatives because she called on Donald Trump, then a presidential candidate, to drop out of the race after the release of the Access Hollywood tape, in which she was heard boasting about sexually assaulting women. But Mr. Trump endorsed Mrs. Roby last month over Mr. Bright, a former Democrat who in 2010 voted for Representative Nancy Pelosi to remain Speaker. Yeah, that is the interesting dynamic, is that of all of the pro-Trump people to face Roby, that it is a former Democrat to do it. You would think someone else would be it. That's my thing. That's what surprises me about the primaries. You'd think one of these other candidates, Barry Moore, Rich Hobson, Tommy Mason, any of those three, you think they'd be more likely to be the pro-Trump choice to take on Roby, but apparently that's not the case. I'm not going to pretend to know, you know. Still no votes in. Also, let me know if anything's wrong with the stream, like if there's any video issues, any audio issues, anything that you could think of. And also, constructive criticism is great. This is a new channel after all, so it'd be great to know what I can do better, whether it be speaking, the banner, anything. So feel free to leave any problems with the stream, any constructive criticism in the comments below. I can take it, trust me. Still no votes in. I'm going to close a couple things real quick. Make sure the performance doesn't go down. According to this, the health is good. Apparently been live for 8 minutes. The blower. I'm sorry that you can hear that. I think that is my granddad doing something upstairs. For those who don't know, I'm currently in our basement, so that's where I'm recording this. It's the best place to get the audio, you know, out. I mean, I'm also, you know, young, so a young guy interested in politics. I'm 16 to be specific, so this is one of the better times for me to be able to record something like this because my mother's at work, my granddad is doing stuff upstairs, and my grandmother is somewhere else too, so this is a pretty decent time to be able to stream something like this, which is convenient because I can't exactly control when the primaries are, you know. Yeah, that's what my granddad's doing right now. I'm not hearing any anymore, so that's a good thing. I think he stopped. He told me that he has to do a good number of things. He has to mow the lawn, he has to do whatever that blower was, and he also has to take a bath. He's into baseball, so he's going to watch that when he's done, but hopefully by the time he's done with all that, well, oh, and looky there, we finally have some votes. Less than 1% reporting. Okay. Only 111 votes in. We have Coffee County. She is winning that by a large margin with 3% of that county in. Okay. So, yeah, that's a pretty big margin early on. You know. I'm curious how that county votes in the primary. Oop, that's a bad sign. Because this is a county that Moore won in the primary, so bad sign for things to come. Obviously, it's still way too early to make a projection here, but yeah, I just saw that. let me update that real quick. Okay, now this is a little difficult to update. Okay, so we're going to go to properties, and now the specific number 70. Now I'm going to round because I don't think I have enough room. Move this to the right. Yeah, I need to change this banner a little bit. It's a little too crowded. Okay. And bright has 23%. Okay. Okay, so it's particularly the Roby number that's being a pain right now. Yeah, because it connects with the bright. Yeah. I need to fix that. Good lesson to learn, because next week we're going to be covering the Georgia runoff as well. Let me get the display back on. And I'm not changing the vote percent because it says less than 1%, and I'm going to keep it that way, you know. But yeah. So, yeah, that's a very bad sign for Bright's chances of winning this thing, because he needs a lot more than that in order to win this thing. He has to win this county if he is going to defeat Roby. He has to. There's no way around that. He has to win this county. So, yeah, now, oh, I live in Indiana. Indiana is where I live. I've been to Alabama before, though. I don't know if it was within the 2nd district. I think it was within the 1st, because I'll show you on this map here. When I went to, because I've been on numerous vacations, you know, of course. And around here is where Gulf Shores, Alabama is. I think that's within the 1st congressional district, so we vacation there. It's a really nice place there. Yeah, Indiana is nice too. We live in a nice small town. It's comfortable. It's very comfortable. And I will have to say we have some interesting things going on here in politics-wise. Our Attorney General is a bit in hot water, and we have a very, very important Senate race going on here as well. But yeah. Oh, and 1 precinct reporting. Jeez. That is incredibly early. Well, but yeah, I do like it here in Indiana. I've also been to Florida a couple times, but it's been a while since I've been to Florida. Alright. Still just the 1 precinct. And I will say, I mean, to be fair, to play devil's advocate, we only have 1 precinct of 30 in this county, so this may be the most pro-Roby precinct within Coffee County. Unfortunately, we can't get precinct level data. As much as I would love to get precinct level data, we can't get that. Clarksville. Clarksville's the town. It's like really, really it's at the bottom of the state. Like we're like 5 minutes away from Louisville, Kentucky, which is you may or may not know, it's a big city there. We go there sometimes, you know. Yeah, it's really close. That's interesting. So you used to work in politics. Yeah. There was large numbers of Republicans who crossed over in 2010. Do you mean to Bright in his race against Roby, or do you mean like to the party? I mean, I'm not counting him out yet. Like I said, it's just one precinct out of like 300 plus. And less than 1%, you know. I don't like to call things when we clearly do not have enough information to call them, but I also don't like when we, because there's times when we refuse to call it too early, and that's a good thing. Well, I'm not saying this right. There are times when things are called way too early, but there are also times where things take a ridiculously long time to call. Like, for example, the most recent example for me is, I'm sure you all know about the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her huge upset victory. It took them until like 80-90% of the vote was in, even though she was leading by like 13-15 points throughout the whole thing. Yeah. That's interesting. I haven't been to Evansville. I've always wanted to travel around the state. There's a lot of neat places. That's right. They voted Democrat because of Bright, who will run strong in the southeast part of the district. Plus, he was mayor of Montgomery, northwest corner. Okay, Montgomery. And is that within this county? I think. Okay. Let me look at the primary real quick. That's interesting. Bright did exceptionally well against the other candidates, but Roby still won a majority of the vote. I find that fascinating, actually. If he was the mayor there, we got more votes in. The margin's not different, though. And it's still less than 1%. So we got one precinct, I think, in Butler County. This is this county. So Bobby's a loser. Well, I wouldn't know. I don't know much about him. Like I said, I'm in Indiana. In Indiana. He interests me, though. Because I don't know how conservative of a Democrat he was when he represented the district, but it is very interesting. It's always interesting when people change parties, especially, you know, candidates change parties. Like, for example, Bobby Bright. He was a Democrat who voted for Nancy Pelosi, and now he's running as the pro-Trump alternative to the Republican who beat him in 2010. I just find that interesting and kind of funny too. Now I'm gonna guess, Matthew, you're a Republican. Now EB, what are you? Assuming you're still here, of course. And also, where are you all? Like, I assume. All right. Yeah, I do know that. I know it was very close. My question is, what were the district boundaries in 2010? Because that's a big thing. Most states, you know, change their district lines following 2010. You know, There are a couple states that didn't. Agnostic. I'm assuming that means independent. Interesting. But yeah, I wonder what the district boundaries were in 2010. Let me see if I can find that real quick since we aren't getting any votes. Because I'm curious now. Alabama. Actually, here's an easier way to do it. 2010 House map. This is old, but it should work. This should work. Yeah. 270 to win. Jeez. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the districts were different. AL2. This is the Bobby Bright district. Okay, and this is AL1. Okay. The district looks kind of similar. Yeah, they look pretty similar. It looks like it's mostly the same area of the state. There's a couple of areas that look like they're kind of different. It might stretch out a little more here, but yeah, it doesn't look like the district boundaries changed much. Enterprise. Oh. That's interesting. So right of center, marginally Republican, okay. And Enterprise. I don't know if I've been Enterprise because I forget where we drove through the state when we went to Alabama. I mean, I know we went down from Indiana through Kentucky and then into Tennessee and then into Alabama. But I think we sort of crossed this line of the state, you know. I'm not going to pretend to know. I wasn't the one driving. Still just less than 1% in. If you say so. I didn't. And also, the funny thing is, when I was there, it was during that special election, you know. It was like in October, November of 2017, so it was like a month or two out from the special election in Alabama. I didn't see many yard signs. I'm kind of glad about that. Like, I didn't see any Doug Jones yard signs throughout the whole time. I saw one Roy Moore, but that was it. I find that fascinating because I've heard that there were a lot of Doug Jones signs. I'm not sure. I didn't see many. Maybe it's just because I wasn't in the right part of the state. Yeah, I know it's a super red district, Alabama, too. And if we go back to the primary, the turnout speaks for itself. Only 33,000 votes on the Democratic side, 93,000 votes on the Republican side. So, yeah, that was such a weird special election. For one, I feel like Trump's probably his biggest regret as president is nominating Jeff Sessions to be Attorney General. Yeah. Oh, I know. He barely won in 2012 as Chief Justice. He's a super controversial person. And I can see why. It's so weird because Trump nominated Jeff Sessions to be Attorney General. He does not like Jeff Sessions. It's very clear that he does not like him as Attorney General now. At all. He hates him now. And not only did he get a bad Attorney General out of that pick, he lost the Senate seat because of that pick. Ouch. That has to burn. Okay. We got more votes. And the margin went down a little bit. 72 to 28. And this is what came in. Okay. So Bright's doing a little better in this county. Okay. And we officially got 1% of the vote in. So we can change the percentages very, very slightly. Well, actually, I just looked. It's a bigger change than I thought. Okay. First off, let's change the percent reporting. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay. Images. I still need to get used to doing this right here. Okay. 1%. For those wondering, by the way, I'm using OBS Studio to stream this. Okay. Alright, so there we go. The votes are updated now. Yeah. Sam Morgan. That's the channel name, Sam Morgan Politics. That is my name, Sam Morgan. This is one of a couple channels I have. I also have a gaming channel. That's my main one. But as of late, I've been a lot more interested in politics. So I thought I'd make a channel about it. Especially to the parts to where no one covers it. Like ballot measures, for example. No one really talks about ballot measures, so I thought it'd be interesting to sort of look into those especially. But also to do primary nights like this, especially for things no one cares about. Like I haven't checked in on any of the news networks, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, any of them, to see if they're covering this. I don't think they are, though. I bet money that they aren't. Because it's just one little district and one party, you know. Not that much to focus on there. Then I am legitimately curious, though, if they will cover the Georgia one, the Georgia runoff. Because that one actually is pretty important in terms of November, you know. Because that is a competitive race. I mean, let's be real. No matter which of these two wins, it's still going to be a red seat in November. This is the general election here. We're going to decide which Republican represents Alabama's 2nd congressional district. I find it interesting that we only have 2 precincts in. Okay, so just initial results. I'm assuming that's the early vote. I guess I can close this now, the 2010 House map. It is interesting to go back and look at this, though. Projected Congress party map. What are all these? Okay, so this is a toss-up map. Or is it just the competitive one? Okay, now this is it. So that... Man, there were a lot more toss-ups in 2010 compared to this year. Oh, and actually... I'm curious, where did you find the stream from? Did you just search it? Well, I know on YouTube. I meant from where on YouTube did you get this? Like, did you search for coverage of this and just happen to find my stream? Did you just know about the channel already? I doubt that. Or, I mean, I'm curious. I'm legitimately curious as to how you found the stream on YouTube. And also, is the stream fixed? Because I know it had a bit of an error there for a second. Whoa, that is a big viewer drop. Are you still there, you two? Are you still there? I apologize for that. Alright, okay. Alright. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, because I only had one subscriber before. So there's a couple people here. And like I said, I'm sorry about that. I noticed the stream had some sort of issue. It was dropping a bunch of frames and then it went offline for a second. Maybe I shouldn't be streaming at this high quality. Maybe that's the problem. But like I said, just stuff to learn for the next time. But alright. Well, I hope you all follow my channel. Subscribe. Because I'm going to cover every election sort of thing I can. I'm going to cover every runoff, every primary, and I also am going to cover the really tiny special elections, state legislative level. That at least that I can get info on. And I also do news related stuff. I have predictions. I also have a list of stuff to watch. Like primaries that are interesting, initiatives, ballot measures that are interesting. Like Alabama's got a couple of them. I think Alabama's going to be voting on if they want to ban abortion. Like statewide, you know, in case Roe v. Wade is overturned. Which could be a thing that happens after all. I mean, Trump did get a Supreme Court nominee and he's more than likely than not to get confirmed. I find it weird that it's because it says only one is watching. But you both say you're still here. Weird. Man, we're getting so few votes. What's taking so long? See, me, I'm very mixed on that issue. The issue of abortion, because I mean, to be fair, I don't support a total ban. I think if you're gonna restrict it, you at least have to have it for specific things. Like, if the mother is going to die if she doesn't get the abortion, then it needs to be legal for her to do it, or else that's 2 dead people, not just 1 dead baby. You know, I try to stay neutral on that issue, but I don't support a total ban on it, which is I think what Alabama's voting on. There hasn't been any polling on it at all, but considering the state, I feel like it would at least be close, knowing their politics. I also find it interesting because Missouri is going to be voting on right to work in their primary, which is next month. And from my knowledge, it's going to be like overwhelming no to right to work. I'm sure you both know what right to work is. Like, because there's one poll on it that shows like 58% of Missourians are going to vote no on it. But yeah, I don't think the networks are covering this, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, is because I don't think many people are covering it. I'm sure there's a couple of Twitter folks on it. Let me see if I can find anything real quick. Yeah, Decision Desk. It's 1. Okay, 30,000. No, 3,000. Am I reading that right? With almost 3,000 votes counted? That's 300. I think that is a typo. Unless they got different numbers than me. Okay, they do have different numbers than me. Where are they getting this from? They have way more votes than the MIT is reporting. I'll refresh it. Still showing the same margin. Weird. Is it from the Alabama Secretary of State? Is it from... I'm going to look around because I want to get the most up-to-date votes. Okay. Results. Coming soon. What do you mean coming soon? State results, county results. Let's look at one that's reporting, see if we get... Oh, here it is. Here's a big vote dump that just came in. 2,500 votes now, 2% in. Now that just disappeared. Okay, well, let's update the vote then. But that's still out of date, isn't it? When I say out of date, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. Let's see if we can find it on Politico. Bunch of stories. I don't care about the stories. I want election results. Jeez. Okay, so it's the same number I'm getting from the New York Times. So I don't know where Decision Desk is getting their numbers. They're much more up to date on their numbers than me, apparently. Yeah, 2% of the vote is in. It did get closer. Still looking like a blowout, but it's not as big one. I'll change the number. Okay, let's update the vote total. Alright, well, vote's been updated. I still don't know where they're getting their numbers from, Decision Desk. I guess Decision Desk is the new king of election results. The only thing is they don't really have much of a map, which is a little disappointing to me. Okay, well, there went that. Also curious what Dave Wasserman is saying. If he's saying anything at all, he might not even be talking about it. Okay. So now the numbers are more like the Decision Desk numbers. Wonder where they got them from. I'm not getting anything from the Secretary of State website. Like anything. Dave Wasserman saying anything about this. Just trying to get any political analyst I can right now. Nope. Is there anything going on with the hashtag AL02? Okay, so this dude there is not much here at all. So You guys still there? You haven't said anything in a little bit. Okay, we got a little more of the vote in, but the margins haven't changed. Right now, it's looking like a blowout. Assuming these numbers hold up. And Coffee County. I think that's the one he won. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. No, that's not it. Dale County is the one that Bright won. Do we have anything from that county? No. But it's a small county as well. So we don't have anything from what would be Bright's biggest vote center. I'm not going to designate it too close, though. I still think this is too early to call. For those into the designations, yeah, too early is because it ain't close. At the moment, anyway, it is not close. We just don't have enough information. I'm also not going to project this any earlier than anyone else's. Yeah. I find it very interesting that the counties that Moore won are currently going to Roby with the early votes that are being counted. But I will say, it took them 40 minutes to get 2,845 votes in Alabama. We really need to reform our election vote counting. Like, geez. Campaign is the last line on defense on abortion. New Jersey Democratic House candidates crushing Republicans. I need to cover a lot of stories. I didn't cover them for the last few days. I'm sure there's a lot to update. I'll keep this up in case anything significant comes out of this. Okay, see 5% in according to Decision Desk. They clearly have the newest numbers. It's just okay, 6% of the vote counted, almost 6,000 votes. I'm going to start going by their numbers at this point. Because the last vote dump was good. Okay. 68-32. So not much really to change. I don't even think I'll even hide the screen this time. I mean, there really isn't that much of a point in hiding the screen. It just makes it look a little nicer. I will say, as more vote comes in, Bobby is improving slightly. But at this rate, it's not going to be enough to make up the difference. Like, he's still got a lot of points to make up. Yeah, still giving us the 69-31. Are you all still here? It says one watching now. You haven't commented in a while. You still there? I don't need this open anymore. They aren't really being that helpful. This at least gives me a map. Which I'll be honest today. Why does it say 4% here and 6% on Decision Desk? Is this well, actually it is less votes counted. It's the same margin. 68-32. Okay, so we got 4 out of the 19 precincts in this county, and she's winning it pretty comfortably. She's winning it pretty comfortably. We don't have many other counties that are reporting a significant amount. Houston County, Henry County are reporting a decent bit of their vote. All right. And I'm just curious because I swear the thing that says how many people are watching is very hard to tell if it's actually correct. Like, it says 1 watching, but technically I could count as that 1 since I have this open. It's a little weird. And there we have 2 people in the comments saying they're still here. It says 1 person is watching. That makes no sense. YouTube, what is wrong with you? Yeah. I don't get that. I really don't get that. But yeah, apparently Decision Desk has the numbers to watch because they have 5,739 votes counted. NYT has 4,895. So, it's interesting. I find it also interesting. I just have to wonder what Decision Desk is doing to get those numbers. I'm curious. I'm legitimately curious. I'll have to look into them more after this because they have the numbers. It's just a shame they don't have a map. If they had a map, I wouldn't need NYT. But I do. And now the percentages in these counties, in the individual counties, are something interesting too. 29% Henry is in for Bright. So she's improved upon our primary margin. Okay, so the vote count just changed. Again, 5601. It has different percentages on both of these. This says 6% with more votes in. This says 8%. Is it too much to ask for some consistency in these things? I'm going to go with this one since I already have it typed in. And the margin hasn't changed. Has it? Oh, it has. But that's in this one. It's still 68-32. According to Decision Desk. And they have the latest numbers, so I'm more inclined to believe them. Yeah. I'm rounding in case it isn't obvious. Because, yeah. The New York Times says 8% is in, and it's 69-31. Man, I need to do something about that. Okay, so now, okay, this is Decision Desk updated. Okay, so now the New York Times is ahead of the Decision Desk number, unless I need to refresh it. Okay, I did apparently need to refresh it. Same margin, though. Same margin. 68-31. Okay, 7622. Okay, so there's still more vote on Decision Desk. They say 7% is in. I'm more willing to believe them at this point. Okay, let's change the percent reporting number. 20% in. Okay, so let's look at the map real quick. See if we have anything noteworthy. 1, 5, 5, 4. We just have new counties reporting, though. Do we have? Okay, so is Dale reporting anything? I don't think it is, because that is going to be Bright's biggest vote share, no matter what happens. Former Democrat, not looking good. No votes yet out of Montgomery. I'd like to see Roby's 2-1 show up there before I decide it. Yeah. That is actually a very important point. We don't have anything in from Montgomery County. And if I'm correct, that is the biggest county of, in the district. For me, I'm probably going to project this early if the numbers hold up. Once we get some numbers out of Montgomery, and once we get some numbers out of Dale. Because if Roby is winning Montgomery by a good margin, when we start getting votes in from there, then I feel comfortable projecting that Roby's won the race. I mean, AP still hasn't called it. Yeah. Twitter is so empty right now. Yeah. Okay. I will read a couple of these tweets since we don't have much else. So, possibly the best quote a candidate has ever said to me. She told the president to step down and get out of the way. Then she went every time he pooted. She was there to smell it. Right said of how Roby got Trump to endorse her. That sounds silly. Okay. It's over. Roby cruises from John MCC. Cross-section of precincts. Roby has commanding leads in all of them. One man, when I asked why he was backing Bright, told me he had known him since grad school, and if I had had a daughter, I'd have been glad to have him as a son-in-law. Bright is going to need a monstrous margin in Dale to even have a shot at beating Roby. Dale is yet to report. Over 5K counted, 5% Roby leads. Not looking close here. We need to wait for Coffee and Geneva, where neither won. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this tweet looks interesting. Although Martha Roby leads 68-32, we have no results from Dale County, where Bright won in the first round, nor from Coffee in Geneva, where Barry Moore won in the first round. The race is still too early to call. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. 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 Yeah, if you're a bettor, you're betting on Roby to win. It's very, very hard to see how she doesn't pull this out. Because the two counties, Coffee, Geneva, I mean, we have some of Coffee in. We do have one precinct in Coffee in. It's a blowout there. We don't have any of Dale. We don't have any of Geneva. And we barely have anything in Coffee. So if there is a way for Bright to pull off an upset here. And that's why it's still too early to call, and I think that's why the AP is refusing to project anything yet. Is if Montgomery comes in for Bright, if it comes, it has to come in decently. It has to come in with a decent margin. And then Dale has to come in for him pretty good. Geneva has to come in for pretty good, and he has to reverse those numbers in Coffee. But even then, that's not enough to win this thing. He's going to need to close the gap in some of these other counties where he's getting blown out. It's not just enough to win these 3 counties in order to carry the district. It from what I'm seeing. Okay. So when it comes to me, I'll probably project when we have either more from this county, something from this county, or a decent bit from this county. Either way, though, I don't think it's going to take that long to project this one. In terms of vote percent, in terms of time after poll closing. Why is it blurry? Is it blurry? I'm looking at the stream right now. It looks fine to me. Okay. Are you talking about the banner and the numbers? It might be because those aren't meant for a 1080 60 stream. I might need to do something about that. Yeah, okay. You have any more numbers? 7622 6338. Nothing more in. Okay. Okay. Counties where Roby underperformed in the primary. It's apparent to me that she'll clean up tonight. I'm calling it. With 18K in. 16%. Okay, so we got more numbers apparently. We got more numbers. Okay, they say they're projecting it. Let's see if that's a good projection to make. We don't have that vote in NYT yet. I'm going to wait till we get on NYT before I make the projection, because with this I'm not able to see where it's coming from. I'm not able to see where it's coming from. They're probably right though. They're probably right. Okay, 14%. So we got an update. Still 4,000 votes missing. What came in? What came in? Covington. We still don't have Dale. Though, yeah, I'm starting to agree with him here. 31. Okay, according to Decision Desk, it's 68-32. According to MIT, it is 69-31. Exactly 69-31. Okay, so we do have one county that is mostly in, though. I think we can get a lot of information from that. 89% of Houston County. Houston. Well, the last one I went to. But yeah, she's winning that by the exact same margin she's winning the whole district by. Let's go back to the primary, see how well she did there. 39 to 28. I think here we have the Bellwether County. Seems to match the district-wide total pretty well. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it. You got the little green X there, and here's the image. Da-da-da-da. Yeah. I'm not seeing a way that Bright can pull this out. So I'm projecting that Roby is going to win this thing. Like, there's no possible way because 68-32 with the current margin. I'll update the vote totals, but there's not much of a point in doing it anymore. At least the percent in. Hmm. 17.529, 18 zeros. Margin went down on MIT, but like I said, they're a little behind. Okay, that's key. That is very key. Roby is winning Dale County. That is the only county that Bright won in the primary. Roby is winning it. And it's close, but it shouldn't be close. It's the only county that's close. Yeah, I think my projection is right. I don't see how Bright can win this thing. I don't see how Bright can win this thing. Though, geez, it took an hour to call that. You would think that such a blowout would be able to call it much earlier. Well, now that we have the projection, we have Roby as the projected winner. I'm going to see if I can find out if anyone is covering this. Let's start with CNN. The weird thing is you can stream the news networks on your television. I mean on the computer. You can stream them onto your computer. But I've been able to stream every network except Fox. I don't know why I'm having issues with Fox. Okay, I'm just gonna real quick look at CNN. You can see nothing on the primary runoff. Nothing at all. So no network is covering it, I'm guessing. I mean, well, I haven't looked at all of them. I'm going. Let's look at all the ones we can. Let's go to MSNBC next. See if they have anything. Please sign in. Since the plugin is blocked. Hello? MSNBC, you want to load? No? Well, that's a shame, I guess. Let's go to the last one, NBC. I'm not going to check ABC. Where is the live thing here? Nightly news, think, stay tuned. I can't find it. Unless it's nightly news. I can't see anything. I'm just looking at news networks. Any. My point is no one's covering this. I'm not using the TV to check, so I can't look at Fox to see if they're covering it. I don't think they are, though. One of you can check if you want, but I don't think Fox, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, CBS, any of them. I don't think any of them are covering this. I can't. I can show you why I can't. I can show you why I can't. So I'll go to Fox News, and I click Watch TV. And with the other ones, it just lets me click Sign In, and it'll let me just straight up watch it. You saw, like, I turned CNN on, and it was pretty easy. Where's that audio? That sounds like Rachel Maddow. Why is that playing, and why is it on Fox News? That doesn't make any sense. Especially since I haven't... So yeah, when I try to do it here, it gives me this. I don't know the information to sign in, so I can't check Fox. I would if I could. I mean, I guess I could turn on the TV, but I prefer not to. Okay. NYT still isn't reporting, and they have more votes now. They have more votes. 16% of precincts reporting. 1802. NYT is officially surpassed Decision Desk, unless nope. Margin's better, but still a blowout. I'll update the votes. So it's 24%. And it's 67-33 now. A 1% vote change. So that's not much. That is not much. So yeah, Roby won this thing with ease. Well, that was fun. I mean, there isn't much else to cover. I mean, we could wait to see all the votes counted, but there isn't much of a point to. I mean, the margin might get a little closer as the votes come in, you know, the rest of them. I will say I'm impressed with the turnout so far. We have 21,000 votes so far counted, and that's just 24% of the district in. That's not bad for a runoff. That's not bad at all. That's around the same amount of support that happened in New York's primary. I mean, to be fair, there wasn't really that much going on in New York's primary, and New York has some of the most draconian voting laws in the country. That's another thing. Okay, so decision desk is called it. Wait, what's this one? While the decision desk is often faster out of the gate than MP, their tendency to fall victim to fat-fingering typos, I hope, causes some crazy things to happen. Where's this vote coming from? I haven't seen this. I don't know what this is from. Because this is 70 of 300. It's 18%. And it shows Bright winning with 17,000 votes. Does he even have 17,000 votes? I don't know where that came from. I don't know. Is this a troll tweet? Cause yeah, I don't know where that vote is from. And it's 70 precincts reporting. 105 if reported. It doesn't make that doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's look at these tweets real quick. Looking at the counties where Roby underperformed in the primary, it's apparent to me that she'll clean up tonight. I already read that one. Roby well ahead. By that I mean she's at 68%. I want her to race right now. AL2, still too early to call. I'm waiting for Dale and Geneva before I make any call. Martha Roby looks safe in AL2. Houston is mostly in. She won the first round there with 37.8. She's winning it tonight with 69. 14% in. Roby still holds the 69-31 edge. While decision desk, I still don't understand that tweet. I guess it's not a very bright evening for one of the candidates. Haha. Projection: Martha Roby wins renomination from the GOP to Congress, surviving a runoff. Okay then. Yeah. That is my projection. Yeah, it certainly wasn't. His attempt to return to politics did not work out well. He probably would have had a better chance running as a Democrat. Because the thing is, it's always tough to unseat incumbents. Even unpopular ones, it's very tough to unseat them. Like, how many primaries have we already had this cycle? Only two Republicans have been unseated, and only one Democrat has been unseated. Mark Sanford, who was the dude in North Carolina? I forget his name. And Joe Crowley. And for most of those, those are unpopular incumbents. Mark Sanford was really unpopular. He got really under Trump's skin, and he paid for it. And that was a reliably Republican district. And in the North Carolina one, he was unpopular since 2016. He barely won in 2016. And then the big one was Joe Crowley. No one saw Joe Crowley going down. Like, I'm surprised there weren't any polls for that race, because apparently there should have been. Because that was a blowout. Not this big of a blowout, to be fair, but a blowout. Yeah, we got 67-33 according to Decision Desk. Well, if anyone wants to know where to get their election results from, Decision Desk. They have the newest numbers. The only thing is you have to refresh it in order to get the new numbers. It doesn't automatically update like NYT does, and Politico, I think, auto updates too. See, I'll refresh now, and I'll see more votes. I think more votes are in. Not many more, but yeah. I will say, impressive turnout tonight. Impressive turnout. 24,000, 27% of the vote is in. Back in the primary, it was 93,000 with all the votes. And I mean, if we want a better turnout comparison, let's go to the county with the most of the vote in, which would be either Houston or Butler, but Houston's 2% ahead, so let's do that. Okay, so 7,000, 3,000, so it's around 9,000 or so votes total. Now here is around 15,000, so it's not that much of a drop-off, considering, you know, runoffs don't usually, because there was a huge drop-off in the Texas runoffs. There was a huge drop-off there. Not the case here tonight in Alabama. Yeah. The vote just keeps ticking up here. Just keeps going up and up and up. Okay, I'll put this up a little bit. Okay. Has the margin changed at all? Still 67-33. Yeah, challengers to incumbent representatives do not have a good track record. And there's a number of reasons for that. Sometimes it's legitimate, because the challengers do not deserve to win the primaries at all. Sometimes they're terrible challengers. But there are other times, and by the way, I will say that this is probably an instance where the challenger was terrible. Because if someone is going to unseat an incumbent Republican, I don't think it's going to be a former Democrat who voted for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker. Maybe that's just me, but I don't think that is a good candidate to try and defeat Roby. No matter how conservative he is, that's gonna hurt you. Especially if you're running against an incumbent who's voted with Trump 97% of the time, even if there was a slight unendorsement at one point. It's not that big of a thing. But this is an instance of a weak challenger. When it is a very good challenger, even then, usually the incumbent wins, because usually they have more money and they usually have name recognition. Okay. I think you're looking at the New York Times. New York Times now is at 28. New York Times says 28%. Decision Desk, I'll refresh it to make sure. So 29. So okay, so 30% at Decision Desk, 28% in New York Times. So it's a little, you know, weird. But I'm more willing to trust Decision Desk since they're able to get the votes faster, to be honest. Also, they do have more votes counted over at Decision Desk, which is this site. And now it's at 30%. There's no weirder vote total, because when you round something up, then something that doesn't add up to 100. So this is a 68-33. Ouch. Yeah, I saw that, and now 2 are watching. Yeah. I don't know how much I should trust that number, because it's kind of inaccurate sometimes. YouTube isn't exactly the most reliable. Who's this? the Democrat. Oh, here's one thing I don't like with either party is when they think they have a real chance at winning something that they don't have a single chance at. I don't like when Republicans think they're going to win the governorship in California or the Senate seat in California. I don't like when Democrats think they're going to win the governorship in Idaho or the Senate seat in the main Senate seat in Mississippi. Like, it's not going to happen. And this tweet amplifies that on the Democratic side. Because Walt Maddox is not going to be the governor of Alabama. And Tabitha Isner is not going to win this district. It's just not going to happen. I always find it a little silly when parties get a little too over-optimistic. I try and be as fair and balanced as I can, putting aside my biases, you know. Any other more interesting ones to read here? Frequent reminder that Martha Roby endorsed Roy Moore, and then after the disgusting allegations came to light, went completely silent, didn't rescind, didn't stand behind it, didn't speak out, deserves to be remembered. And I don't think Alabama voters are going to care. It's a DCCC person, eh? Who's shrunk slightly, but she's still doubling up. Yeah, I still don't know where this image is from. I mean, it clearly is wrong. He hasn't even gotten 17,000 votes yet. We have more of the vote in. Montgomery's in? I see that. And Roby, with the vote that's in Montgomery, is winning it big. Yeah, it would require a miracle. It would require an absolute miracle for Bright to win this thing, which is why Decision Desk is projected that Roby has won this thing. And it's why I'm projecting Roby has won this thing. She's won this thing. 34% of the vote now in. Still 67-33. This is the vote total I still have up. Same thing on NYT now. They've caught up a little bit. Yeah, Montgomery. And the fact that Bright isn't winning Dale County, I mean, if he can't win the county he won in the primary, then he can't win this thing. He simply can't. Yeah. For reiteration. And by the way, I never had to use this image. I never ever had to use this image. Too close to call. I've never had to use that one. Because this thing was never close. Also never use this one. Never mind. Okay, that's the wrong thing. Oops. Okay. Where did I have that thing? Okay, there it is. I never used this one. Yeah, didn't think I would. Yeah, I'll put this back up for a second, you know. Emphasis. For those just tuning in, Martha Roby has won renomination to Alabama's 2nd Congressional District. She has won renomination. That is Decision Desk projection. That is my projection as well. Martha Roby has won this thing. So, yeah. Just keeping that up for a sec because there's not much else to report here. Because the vote's still being counted, you know. But ain't happening. Still waiting for Coffee County, which was predicted to have higher turnout from a local race. I do find it funny that because the Associated Press is usually the big caller, like the people who call everything. The Associated Press. It's when MIT bases their projections on. AP's still haven't said anything. I mean, this is what I mean, by the way. There are times when it will be projected like too early, and there's times to where it'll be projected way too late. This is one of those instances where it's going to be projected way too late. It's over. It's over. But AP disagrees. A third of the vote is almost in. We almost have a third of the vote. And it's the landslide at the moment. He's not even winning his home, not home county, but he's not winning the county he won. He can't win that one. He can't win this thing. So yeah, the results essentially are in. There's not much else to talk about until more comes in, or the Associated Press decides they want to call this thing. This is an interesting response. Primaries violate the First Amendment by using law to establish membership and selection rules inside private tax-paying parties. So how can non-mutually exclusive parties keep their identity? By treating each member like a state with 2 Senate and proportional participation House votes. Weird. I don't understand that one entirely. That was a weird tweet. But yeah, the vote keeps counting. We still don't know what the final margin will end up being. But it ain't changing much from now. Because at the start, it looked like that Bright might make up some of the numbers. Now it looks like he's capped. Because early, it was like 77% for Roby. And as the vote came in, he slowly made that up. But now, as we're getting into the 30s, now it looks like the numbers are staying relatively the same as we get more votes. So yeah, 34% of the vote is in, 67-33 in Roby's favor. Still, the Associated Press does not call it. I don't know why. That is actually my curiosity is, what are they waiting on? I guess they're just being overly careful. I mean, to be fair, Florida probably gave a lot of networks. Florida 2000 got a lot of networks very, very cautious about projecting things, even to a ridiculous point. Maybe a little too cautious. For example, they don't call something until every place in the state is closed, which sometimes it makes sense. Like Florida, it totally makes sense to wait till 8, where the Panhandle closes. But Indiana and Kentucky close at 6, most of the state. Like, most of the state. Those both are reliably Republican, usually. Yet, they refuse to call anything in those states until the polls have closed. It's ridiculous. Even when it is literally one person on the ballot. Like, I remember this specifically from the primary in Indiana. It was 6, and they were getting numbers, but they didn't call Joe Donnelly the winner of the Democratic primary, even though he was literally the only Democrat running for the Senate in the primary, which makes about 0 sense. To me, anyway. Okay. Well, I guess I'm kind of proud for being able to call it before the Associated Press. We have more votes in. Has the margin changed? Nope. Not at all. I mean, like by a couple, like, decimals, but 35%. So, went up 6%. Alright. Well, there isn't much else to talk about. I think we're going to end this in just a little bit, because there isn't much else to talk about. Because, I mean, we can wait for the rest of the vote to come in, but there isn't much of a point. It's already over, pretty much. It is. It is pretty much over. So, I think I'll close this off. So, thank you to the people who decided to watch this. I'm very grateful for it, you know, especially small channel. I hope you'll continue watching me. Next week we have the Georgia Republican runoff between Casey Cagle and Brian Kemp. And that is a competitive race in November, so that's going to be very interesting to watch. And it also closes earlier, so we're going to be... And it takes forever to count the vote in Georgia, so we'll probably be at this for a while next week. And in terms of videos, like I said, I do 2018 predictions, news-related stuff, all the things. So yeah, hope you'll subscribe, continue watching. After this, I hope you'll come here next week, where we'll be streaming the Georgia runoff. And yeah, so thank you for showing up. I'm glad, you know. So Matthew, if you're still here, yeah, I'm commenting a little bit, but if you're still here, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully see you sometime later. Goodbye.